I'd like to go a little bit deeper into the transforms in 3ds Max to talk about axis constraints. As you've seen, you can use the Move tool or the Transform gizmo to position objects in the scene. The Transform gizmo is actually just a shortcut to a toolbar called Axis Constraints. Let me open that up for you. I'll right-click on an empty spot on the main toolbar and choose Axis Constraints. And you'll see as I choose X, Y, or Z on the Move gizmo that the Axis Constraints toolbar is updating. Sometimes the Transform gizmo will actually get in your way, and we will see this later when we get into spline curve editing. It's important that you know that you can turn the Transform gizmo off as needed. To do that, you could use the X key on the keyboard. If I press X, the Transform gizmo is not displayed, but I can still see which axis I'm constrained to. You'll see that red line indicating the X-axis. I can use the Axis Constraints toolbar to switch to the Y-axis or the Z-axis, which is elevation. Control-Z to undo that. And additionally, I've got the ability to choose two axis constraint, like XY, for example. And now if I click anywhere on my object, I can move it in X and Y, but not Z. I'll press the X key again to turn the Transform gizmo back on. And you can see you can actually do the same thing with the Transform gizmo itself by clicking on one of these brackets here. That'll let you move in two axes at once. It's a basic introduction to axis constraints in 3ds Max. And again, it's important that you know this because sometimes you'll need to turn the Transform gizmo off.